Jaguar E-fixed head coupe 3.8. Owners, start your engines. We are looking here at BAS offering for the E-fixed head coupe. Undoubtedly the best looking E-type of all variants. The way the car was designed, the way the car looks best in my opinion. The Roadsters of course were an afterthought, they just chopped off the roof. But the lines on the fixed head series ones are stunning and still turn heads to this day many years later. That's how I'm 55 and I was born in 62, so I guess that would be 57 years later. Anyway, beautiful cars. We're looking here at a fairly early 3.8. There's some variants, some differences. We're going to start with a general overview of our work here at BAS at beautiful Palm Springs, California. And then we're going to look in detail at the kit and what we provide. And we can clearly demonstrate with this video what separates us from the pack. And there's lots. I think the first and most important thing that we have as an advantage is the high quality and correct materials that we import from the UK. We have the Wilton wool carpet available in 17 original colors, rubber backed as it was from Jaguar, 5mm pile. We have the short nap moquette, which is the wool cloth. Of course this hasn't been to shipping department for final cleaning and inspection, so it won't look like this when it goes out. But the short nap wool cloth, again 100% wool imported from the UK. You have the underfelts, the Hardura, which is PVC coated felt, exactly as original. We have the original wool cloth. We have the foam backed wool cloth, which is an exclusive from BAS here. Baltic birch ply. We'll go through the list of all the small stuff, but let's stick to the big stuff. We have the original style vinide vinyl, and of course everything we manufacture and sell at BAS is unconditionally guaranteed to fit and to be exactly correct to the highest show standards anywhere in the world. So you pay for quality, you get quality. They're expensive cars to restore. We do encourage you at this point to follow through and watch the entire video if it's the first time viewing. If you're making a decision on BAS versus others, you really should have all the information which will be contained in this video, edited version, and you will see exactly the content and what you get. You get what you pay for with most things in life, and upholstery for Jaguar cars is no exception. We're never the cheapest, but we're certainly there's certainly cheaper. You'll find absolutely none better. As I was saying, expensive cars to restore, so you get to the point for the upholstery, we encourage you not to blow your expensive restoration with a cheap, ill-fitting interior that some of our competitors offer. Anyway, we'll let you decide. Samples available on request, and we'll now look at things in greater detail. I mentioned the materials as being significant difference. Another significant difference is our inclusions, which is the broadest inclusions of anybody in the market today. We include absolutely every single piece of soft material for the entire cockpit of the car. If it's a panel, it's applied as a brand new fully upholstered panel. If it's a cover, it's applied as a cover. If it's piping, it's made up. If the cover has foam underneath it, we supply the foam that goes underneath it. We have all the hardware, fixing screws, panel clips, snaps for the trunk mats, new carpets, studs, all included with the kit. If it's a cover, like these vinyl covers here for the stowage box behind the seats and so on, it's applied as a pre-cut piece, and everything comes labeled in its own bag, like you can see here, storage box return kit, 40 by 3 inches, 13 by width of roll, one vinyl pattern, it's pattern shaped in there, and one at 50 by 22. Now the great advantage of the labels, of course, if we put a label on something like the door panels, it'll be pretty obvious that they're the door panels. However, this guides you or your choice of shop there in the right direction on where these pieces go. So every single piece comes labeled so that you know what it is and therefore where it goes. Helps us also track as we're shipping and putting the kit in the final inspection and into the box ready to go. It's a way of knowing if we have a label left over, like these are not assigned yet, then it's not in the box. So like I said, some things are obvious and other things are not as obvious. There's some great details here on the center console, for instance, so you can go through. And if you guys know your spec for 3.8, you'll know that the early cars came with the aluminum polka dot center console. And then at the last year, 64, they even though the 3.8 engine existed, Jaguar switched to the 4.2 style console. So it is common for the later cars to have the box console lid, storage box. In this particular case, this is a very early car, and it does not have that console box. I'll talk about the leather. I missed that ingredient. It's probably the most important part of our kit, and I will talk about that when we review these seats here. These are customer's choice to have black with red piping. It always was an option at the factory. If you ordered the car new from Jaguar and you wanted contrasting piping, they did it. It's not common, but it was available on request, as it is here at BAS. So I've covered content a little bit, I've covered material a little bit. Here is another great advantage. We have got everything staged on a very expensive CAD control cutting machine. It has a combination of blades, punches, scalpel, pizza wheel blade. There's a pencil over this side. This machine is a great advantage. We've perfected our panels over it's our 23rd year, and our patterns have been perfected. And as if we change anything, it's tracked, and we're able to adjust patterns. But this is a very stable kit. This is we've done hundreds, and we're very confident we have every aspect of this 3.8 fixed head absolutely correct. We can look over here and see there's some digitizing being done. This is a digitizing table. They're digitizing here an XK150 A post. But we'll look at the file for the fixed head coupe. And as you can see, we have a very large stock of material. This is just some of it. And we pull a roll of the appropriate vinyl, in this case black, roll it out on the bed of the machine here, press that button, and the whole interior is cut out in about 42 seconds. And here's one of the tables. So you see the door panels, upper side casings, door cappings, rear door, lower side casings, center console, cant rails, all cut with the machine. Second table, because it's too much to fit on one, even though it's a bed that's about 23 feet long. This is the second cut, the upper door, shift on. Now this is actually a file for the 4.2 style console, but anyway, you get my point. The machine is also used to cut this high quality automotive board that replaces the original masonite that the factory used. This is water resistant board, and we get great results with it. It lasts much longer, and we use that for all the panel work, for most of the panel work. Of course, there are other substrates like this door capping, steels and aluminum, and as you can see, ABS plastic. So we'll go through all the content separately. Just want to start with a general overview, and we'll leave it there, and we'll start to look at some things in detail, starting with the carpet set. Okay, carpet set. Obviously the early cars, the very early cars, had flat floors, and other changes. We have all variants for the E-fixed head coupe Series 1. This is a non-flat floor car, so it has the Storvik. We have the original Storvik that we import from the UK, sewn right into the wool carpet to make this cup. This is how Jaguar dealt with the recess in the floor. I grabbed this from sew-in prematurely. That this has been, I'm showing you red. Of course, it will be black when it gets sewn in, but there's a heel pad that gets sewn into this piece as a scuff, as a way of stopping the scuff in up against the driver's side, like that. All the other pieces are supplied. We bind everything with a specialty machine. You can see our binding is absolutely perfect, and I can tell you, much better than anything out of the Jaguar factory. We worked to much higher standards than they ever achieved at the factory. They were mass produced, they were rushing through their work, and they didn't have time to work to the standards that we do, as simple as that. And I can show you lots of examples of original carpet where the binding is absolutely terrible. Anyway, as you can see, we have perfect binding. The edge is tucked under. We have a specialty machine. Like I said, it has a head that is used to tuck the vinyl so that it doesn't have the raw edge, just as Jaguar did. There's the carpet set. Of course, got to get it cleaned up for shipping. We have the underfelt set, again CAD cut from our machine. You can see all the pieces there, including the door, the ones for the floor. And as I mentioned, with the hardware, we include the 8 male and female snaps that are required for the carpet set. And that's all included. If you have an early flat floor car, the heel pads were actually leather bound, as they were leather, actually not leather bound. They were leather heel pads as they were in the XK, so it was a carryover from the XK 150. And of course we provide our flat floor carpets that way. So there we go, there's the carpets, and now we'll look at the Hardura. Fixed head coupe, Series 1, 3.8. Harduras, black here, you can see beautifully bound A-post with the punch hole for the latch. Have the under dash Harduras, the under seat Harduras, the storage box Hardura, and this being an early car, the one-piece rear mat with the split there in it. And actually this is the second version. The first version Jaguar did, I believe, was two-piece mat, where there was a completely different section. We have both the patterns, and of course the later cars came with vinyl. But this is the rubberized felt Hardura product that Jaguar used. It's hard wearing. It was cheap for them. It's a way of not using carpet, which was expensive, and they made this pebble grain pattern, PVC coated natural jute felt, and of course in a correct restoration of a E-type or any Jag, a necessary ingredient. Okay, we'll look at the moquette covers. We're looking at the lower rear bulkhead here. It's got the scallop shape for the cars that have the ability to, they basically started with a flat panel, and then they cupped it so they allowed the seat to move back further. This is the wheel arch covers. Difficult things to put on, not an easy thing to do. We offer unlimited tech support, so your installers can call us and we can give them a rundown on the best approach for this. We cannot reach down the phone and do it. We do not supply instructions with our kits, nor do any of our competitors, but we do offer unlimited tech support. So in other words, if you need advice on how something goes, it's in our best interest to serve our customers and help them with their shops to get the best results. I do recommend that you shop around and find a competent shop. This is not the kind of car that you want to take to your local mom and pop upholstery shop that does a little bit of everything. Just try and find a specialist company. Pick the guy that's the most expensive. He's usually the most expensive for a reason. And of course, give this product to 10 different people who end up with 10 different results. We'll talk about that when we look at the seat covers and so on later. But anyway, back to the moquette here. So, wheel arch is difficult to do. We make it easy by supplying the foam, wheel arch foams, 1/4-inch foams. Cut the shape, they go underneath this. I can tell you one of the clues is that you do not glue the moquette to the foam. There you go, tip of the month. It's glued on the extremities only and stretched over the foam. And the foam is very lightly glued. There's mistake number 2 that some people make. Anyway, we're more than happy to share our knowledge to get the best results. The content of our kit is shown online, right above where you're watching the video here. Or is it below? Anyway, it's there. Trim content checklist. We don't play a shell game with content. Everything you see listed is in the kit. If it's not in the list, it's not in the kit. We have a lot of extra pieces that are available. There's an infinite amount of things that we can sell you, including rubber seal kits and wood rebuild kits, new sun visors, the dash is included, of course. Anyway, we're looking at a major kit here. We're focused on the major kit. Most people buy the major kit. There is a standard kit, and there's some things that are not included. I'll try and remember what they are as we go here and show you the difference. Anyway, here we go. Back to MoCat. Keep grabbing these things, starting to talk about it and getting distracted. So these are the cup covers for the hinge and lock plates. In the early cars they were MoCat. This is an extra. It's not part of the kit. It is available as an extra, and that's the cup MoCat covers. They're sewn, and these are the inner liners that go on the inside of the cups. And I think that is all the MoCat product in. These are for the fuel pump access plates. So everything again is supplied. Okay, we'll continue on with a few of the extra pieces that are available from us. With the bucket seats, we strongly recommend the use of brand new tack strips. We're looking at our tack strip set. This is cut with a 3D router machine or water jet cut. We have both options available to us. It is very important that your installer or you don't talk yourself into the fact that your tack strips in good condition, they don't need replacing. It is false economy. If you have brand new leather seat covers and you're rebuilding the seats, do not try to reuse your old tack strips. They will, if they're not dried out and deteriorated at this point, they will be very soon, and they will not hold the tacks and staples necessary to create the results that you see there in those finished seats. It's as simple as that. It is important, as it is as in our kit here, that that 3mm Baltic birch ply is used, nothing else. Jaguar used it for a reason. We use it for the same reasons. This stuff will bend around in a circle without snapping. Try doing that with regular plywood. Okay, it is important that these are all cut in grain direction. So when we do the CAD file, we have to lay this out not just for best yield, but for the direction of the bend on this stuff. It eventually then goes into the bucket seat. It's fixed in. There's some strapping. There is Pirelli webbing. There's elastic, and there's the 88 rivets. I always remember that there's 88. Don't know why. I guess I've been doing it too long. 88 split rivets that are used in the bucket seat, and these are available as an extra, both sets. Another little extra, these pinch welds, only available in black. This guy lucked out because that's exactly what he wanted. This is the herringbone pattern, goes over the pinch weld at the A post, and A and B, I should say. Anyway, we've got them and available. Extra in the kit, the headliner is included. This is the sewn cant rails that are sitting inside there. There's a great video where I go into great detail on this headliner and how it's used, why it's a great advantage to have our exclusive headliner, this foam backed wool cloth, which we have made in England in exactly the same way the Jaguar did. It's very expensive to do it this way. It's the only way that works. Watch the video below for further details. It's worth watching because it is a significant advantage of buying an interior kit from BAS. This is an exclusive. I don't know how other companies and installers manage without it. Anyway, the headliner is included. The covers for the sun visors are included. There they are there. There for you to cover your old sun visors. However, I don't recommend that you do because they're always deteriorated and in poor condition. This is the new urethane molded sun visors that we make here at BAS with the vanity mirror sewn in, let in to the mold. These replace your old sun visors. It is an extra, but it is well worth it. This customer chose this. This is actually from another kit, a 2+2 kit here. But these haven't been done yet for this guy. But you can see how they come. It's a great product. The original has a very soft foam inside. The hardware tends to seize over the years. People push on them, they become like a Raggedy Ann doll. You know what I mean, guys? You've got them. You can feel them. They're shot. If they're shot, what's the point in taking good brand new wool cloth and covering over crappy old substrate? So step up and buy the new ones. Strongly recommended. Okay, headliner done. Sun visors done. Foams available. These are in the major kit, I believe. Again, check for content. Polyfoam was used in the backrest of the original. Was a Dunlop foam. There is the contour cut foam that is missing from here. That does the front leading edge of the bucket seats. You can see there. It's actually not in the set, but is included. And you can see we get these excellent results with the use of those foams. What you see there is exactly what we use to get those results. So I think I'll take a break there, and we'll look at some of the panels. No, I think I'm going to switch to seats, get that done. So we're looking at these 3.8 bucket seats, beautifully handmade here in Palm Springs, California. I think this is definitely the most important ingredient, the leather. Now, Connolly, the original supplier for Jaguar, were in business 147 years and have been out of business about 13 years at this point. So Connolly itself is no longer available, which is just as well, because it wasn't all that it was cracked out to be, and that's proof is that they're not in business anymore. Let's put it that way. This leather that we use in our Jaguar business is the very best automotive leather available anywhere in the world. It's very expensive. We pay a premium for it. We have to import it from the UK. We air freight everything in, so we go through a lot of trouble to get very high quality automotive leather. And then the cost of importing. There is lots of competitors that use much cheaper leathers. There's leathers available to us from Asia, Brazil, all over. We don't cut corners on the leather, and the reason, well, our reputation is one, obviously, but it's not just how it is when it's first made or first put in the car. It's how it is in 6 months' time, or 6 years' time, or 60 years' time. It fed with hide food once a year. This will last many years, right in over 100 years. There's seats in museums that have survived very well. So it is an important part of our offering, and one that, as you can tell by my enthusiasm, we're very proud of. Very high quality leather. Again, this is sewn in with the pipe in, the red pipe and the moquette. We back the center sections with the foam back wool cloth, as Jaguar did, again, exclusive for BAS, and the correct way to do the bucket seat. That's to stop that center section stretching. That's how they did it. These calico pulls, high quality cotton pulls that are in there, that you install in those to put them in. These are true 3.8 fixed head seats. They're wider. The fixed heads are wider at this point than the roadster seats. However, gentlemen, please note, this is very important that you measure your seat at this point. Our sales guys will guide you through how to do it and where you need to measure to confirm if your fixed head left Jaguar factory with fixed head seats as it was supposed to, or whether Jag did what Jag liked to do, and that's if they ran out of 3.8 fixed head seats, they put 3.8 roadster seats in. See how they're narrower at the top, right the way across the top there? Now, they never did it the other way around, because a roadster seat will not fit in a fixed head seat will not fit in a roadster, but a roadster seat will fit in a fixed head. So when they ran out of fixed head seats, they put in rows of seats. We've had many examples of this. They did it quite regularly, and so it's a question we have to ask. So please work with us to make the measurements correctly and define which seats you have. Of course, it is correct. There's nothing wrong with it. They both work, but that's typically how Jaguar did things. Anyway, let's go back to the leather here. Okay, we've done that. Okay, well look, I showed you earlier the foams. I showed you the tack strips. Here's the leather seat covers. Imagine those are all the ingredients that make up the seat. Imagine you give those pieces to 10 different people, you end up with 10 different results. That's how they should look. They're very difficult seats to trim well, and it is a great advantage for you if you're able to send us your seat frames. We offer unlimited. We offer a flat rate labor charge, so there's no unknowns as far as the cost. We can quote that, and we can build your seats exactly as you see this red set here. It's definitely not a home restorer's. There's a video down below that you can look and says I'll name it "How Not to Trim 3.8 Bucket Seats." Watch that. You'll know exactly what I mean. That was a home restorer having a go, making a terrible mess of it, and you'll see that down below. Anyway, on a much brighter note, if you send us your seat frames and you send a console, these things can be shipped quite easily. The long cant rails on the car are also a tricky one to do. They often get sent to us, and those pieces can get unbolted from the car, sent to us. We have flat rates, so you know the cost, and the results are evident right there. That's what you get. That's what you're paying for, and that's what you'll receive. So there we go. I think we've covered the leather. We've covered the seats. We're down to the final stretch here. We'll leave it there and start to look at the panels. Okay, guys, hang in there. We're almost there. As you can tell, my speech pattern starts to get faster as we go. I do this at the end of the day when there's no background noise, and my mind starts wandering and thinking about that nice glass of Merlot that I have waiting for me when I get home, and that's my motivator right now. So let's see if we can knock this down. I did forget there with the seats, the 10-inch by 42-inch for the bucket seat frames. That's at the front of the frame. You only end up seeing about 3 inches of it, but it starts off with a generous amount. That's what you need to do the job. We covered this vinyl for the rear storage area, so that's been done. Let's look at the dash pad. Again, it's our own BAS manufactured urethane as original, unsupported PVC, vacuum formed with the correct grain. There are instructions with our pad, quite straightforward to do. That's included with the major kit. Strongly recommended. Dash pads are notoriously split, and on a nice full restoration, it's always nice to change them. Inner sill covers, inner rocker covers, inner sill for Kiwis, Aussies, Brits, and everybody else. Rocker covers. Vinyl oversized, and the foam. Now Jaguar used a open cell polyfoam for the wheel arches, for the rockers. We supply 1/8-inch closed cell Landau foam. Much higher quality, much easier to use, and you get much better results. Of course, it does deviate from original, but I think it's worth the deviation. It'll last a lot longer, and again, it's easier to install. They're tricky things to put on. I can give you a clue that they're glued at the chrome, and they're glued down onto the floor, and you never glue the cover, the vinyls, to the foam. Again, lightly glue the foam. So there we go. So we have the center console kit, with this time without the 4.2 console. Have the extra wide piping that goes around the console, vinyl and foam covers for the main console itself. We have the underdash grain fiberboard cut. There's some variations of this. We supply just one. Sometimes they need trim in to fit. There's, like I said, a couple of variations. On the early cars there was aluminum panels that we're happy to recover if you have them. You send them to us. So that's the underdash the underdash panels. And now we'll look at the rear door panel. The rear door panel, we make it with this bend in it. It has to be made that way so that it doesn't wrinkle. This end is left as a flap because that's glued into the pinch weld of the window, and that's how Jaguar did it. You can see our panel work is as pretty on the back as it is on the front. That was never the case at Jaguar, but such is the pride of our guys here at BAS. You can see it's all nicely finished. That's for longevity. That'll last a long time, glued and stapled. Doesn't come undone. So there's the main section for the rear door. There's the little filler panel. Again, that goes up in that corner there. There's the panel below the rear door. It's aluminum with a foam face. And then finally, a great significant addition to our kit, exclusive, this upper rear door panel. We make it in a black ABS plastic, molded plastic. We cover it. We cover it in vinyl, ready to go. This part gets glued down into the pinch weld. Now, why is it so great? Because almost impossible to get the original off without it breaking. If you guys have tried to do it, if you have done it, and it's already off, you'll know it's in pieces. It was a paper mache, kind of a molded paper product from Jaguar. If you leave it up there and you don't touch it, it's just fine. But the minute you try to take it off, it disintegrates. So our solution was to mold it in plastic. A great addition to our kit, and again, something that separates us from the pack. Got the cant rail covers. You can see those there. We've included the foam for the front pieces. Tricky things to do, but the pattern cut shape certainly helps the process there. We've got the rebate closing panels, 3.8. They're aluminum panels that go on the rebate closing at the B post on the door. Major kit includes brand new steel upper door cappings. These are laser cut and bent exactly as original. The standard kit comes with the vinyl cover and the foam pad. Again, Jaguar used the headliner material underneath as a padding. And so if you buy the standard kit, you get the covers. You have to cover your old ones. The great advantage of the major kit, these come covered brand new. And they're tricky to do, so it is recommended. Now we're down to the last thing. This again, exclusive BAS. We include our own. We manufacture this in the UK. This is the original style armrest. There is a chrome finisher around here that is missing from this. These are the components. We got new stock coming in, so at time of filming we don't have one to show you. But the steel base, brand new molded urethane, the taupey grey plastic as original, and then the stainless steel chrome-like finisher that goes around. On a full rest, these are shot on original cars. They're discolored, they're cracked, the foam is disintegrated, and so it's nice to have brand new ones. And of course, they color match the interior, so these will be in black for this particular car. Again, included in our major kit. Door panel. We even include the factory clips here. The panel clips, of course, I showed you earlier. They're included, and these are the specialty clips that the installers haven't finished here yet. That gets put, of course, on the other side, on the face side. This is a factory part, and that we supply. We have these on the panels all ready to receive the factory original chromes back onto the door panels. Okay, so the door panels, obviously. And now we're down to the four interesting panels, and we call these the upper side casings and lower side casings. Now, on the 4.2s, they were a slightly different shape and so on. The 3.8s are quite unique. Another thing that makes the early car, these panels in the early cars unique is how we discovered this, like a lot of things, the hard way. We had a lot of people sending us complaining about the slight fit issues with these panels, and then on closer inspection, when we received the original panels, we started to notice that Jaguar actually fitted these panels, offered these panels to the car, and then played around with the tolerances on these pieces to get riveted to in this position here, and then finished off. In other words, when we got the originals, we could see that one side would be 1/4 of an inch, or maybe 3/8, like that, let's say, and back to nothing at this end, or this was sticking out 1/4 of an inch and this was flush. So they played with the fit here. So our solution is to supply the aluminum pieces, flap, oversize the foam and vinyl, and then we recommend that you offer them into your car. You play around with the fit. You maybe want to use some glue on this, just to kind of, or tape it in position. Play around with the positioning. When you got it right, then you can go to the rivets that we supply. These are what we call speedy rivets, and we supply these enough to fix these on. The holes are in the panels. Find the appropriate hole, make the appropriate holes in the aluminum, and off you go. Then this has to be trimmed back and turned back and so on. If you set the aluminum, you have trouble with this part, you don't want to risk it, send it back to us. We're happy to finish it off. We think this is the best solution for the early cars. Again, it's quite dramatic, one side to the other variances on the early cars. And so subsequently this panel, the lower side casing, also the same treatment. This piece goes at the top. You can see this is cut at an angle. Let's see, that one, yeah. It goes there, the angle, and again riveted at the top, finished over. Again, that's the variance, so that I hope you can see it here. That's where they played with this distance here. Sometimes they're 1/4 of an inch right the way across, or sometimes they're like nothing down here and 1/4 of an inch at the back. So that's how they played to get the fit better, and that's how we present these panels. And I think that's it. It's time for like a glass of wine, so I hope you enjoyed it. Samples on request at no charge. Again, we unconditionally guarantee everything to fit and to be built to the very highest standards available anywhere in the world. Hope you enjoyed the video and look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks, guys.